Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this halter top. It's a super simple beginner-friendly pattern, only using one stitch. Check out the links in the description below as well as the list of materials needed for this pattern, and I'm going to walk you through step by step how to crochet this halter top. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's make our starting loop. You're going to wrap the yarn around your finger and just let it cross over like this. Pick up a little bit of that bottom piece, the part that's underneath the little crossover, and push just a bit of the top bit through. And pull it to make that loop, and go ahead and get that onto your hook. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. I'm making a size large. You can look in the description below for a link to the written pattern. That's where you'll find all the other sizing. But for now, we're going to be working on a size large. I have indicated also in the description below the different starting chains for different sizes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make our starting chain of 29. So we're going to yarn over our hook and just pull it right through that loop. Okay, yarn over, pull through. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's 29 starting chain. Now we're going to begin with working in our second chain from the hook. So there's our first, this is our second chain from the hook. We're going to work a half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over your hook, push it through that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over, pull right through all 3 loops. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and repeat that into every single chain all the way down your work. So by the end of this row, you should have, for a stitch count, 1 less than what your starting chain was. All right, so just go ahead and keep on working your half double crochet stitches into every chain all the way down and then come back. Okay, so now that you finished that row of half double crochet stitches, we're going to go ahead and begin our next row. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're just going to repeat that same row again. We're just going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way down the row. All right, so for this next row, you should end it with the same stitch count as the last row that you just worked, which is 1 less than your starting chain. Okay, so just go ahead and keep on working 1 half double crochet into every single stitch all the way down and then come back. Okay, so now we finished that row. Now the rows that we're working on, like what we've just finished working, is from the neck. We're working this pattern from the neck down, okay? So now we're gonna begin increasing our rows. We're gonna chain 1 and turn our work. So we're going to half double crochet into that very first stitch. And now we're going to work another half double crochet in that very same first stitch. We're going to work 1 half double crochet into every single stitch down the rest of the row except for the last. So you're going to work 1 half double crochet into every single stitch. In your very last stitch of the row, you're going to work 2. So you're going to start working 2 half double crochet in the first stitch, 2 half double crochet in the last stitch. All the ones in between, you're just working 1. Okay, so by the time that you get to the end of this row, your stitch count should be 2 more than the previous row. All right, so go ahead. You've just worked 2 in the first, work 1 into each of the following stitches and end off by working 2 in that very last stitch. I'll come here, I'm gonna go ahead, you can pause the video. I'm gonna work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. I'm gonna leave the last one empty just so I can show you how to end this row and begin the next. Okay, so I'm here at the end of my row. I've left the last stitch. So I worked, again, just to recap, 2 in the very first stitch, 1 in each of the following except for the last. And now I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I've got my 2 in that last stitch of my row. Now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. I'm going to now begin this next row the exact same way. I'm working 2 into my first stitch. I'm going to work 1 into each of the next and 2 in the last. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn my work. You're going to continue on doing that until you reach, for this one again, remember I'm working on a size large. So remember that your stitch count is going to be 2 more than the previous row every row that you work, okay? So I'm going to continue working until my stitch count reaches a total of 100 stitches. That's where I'm going to come back for the next step. If you're working on a different size, remember that this is for small, medium, large, extra large. In the video tutorial and the instructions I have, look in the description below and I will mention there the stitch count that you have to get to for your respective size that you're working on, okay? Once you finish working your increase rows, then you're going to come back and we're going to move on to the next step. So just to recap again, you're going to work 2 half double crochet in the first stitch, 1 into each stitch down the row, 2 into the last, chain 1 and turn your work. You're going to keep on going until you reach the stitch count that you need to be at after increasing rows for the size that you're working on. For a size large, it's going to be a total of 100 stitches is where I'm going to stop increasing. Look in the description below to see what stitch count you need to stop your increases at, and then come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now that you've finished all of your rows until you're at the size that you needed, the stitch count required for the size you're working on, we're going to go ahead and work on finishing. So I like to have a really clean edge all the way around, just really gives that finishing touch to this halter top. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And we're going to work a single crochet into every single stitch all the way down, but you're going to continue all the way around. So you're just going to keep working single crochets up the side of the work as well, along the top here, back down this side until you get back here to the beginning. So you can go ahead and mark your chain 1 space with a stitch marker if you'd like to make it easier to remember where you began. But this is where we're going to end up coming back to. So we're going to work a single crochet all the way around. So you're just going to push your hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through both. And you're just going to go ahead and keep on working those single crochets into every stitch across your row. And you're just going to continue on working those single crochets all the way around your work completely until you get back here to the beginning. And then come back and I'll show you how to finish off. Okay, so now that you've finished working those single crochets all the way around and you're back at the start, you're going to go ahead and close with a slip stitch into that chain 1 space. You're going to push your hook in, yarn over, and pull right through the loops on your hook. So we're not going to fasten off right now because we're going to work on the first tie around the back. I'm just trying to give you a better view here. There we go. So we're going to work on the first tie around the back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 80. So we're just going to work our chain till we get to 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and make your chain 80 and come back. Okay, so now that you've got to your chain of 80, we're going to go into the second chain from the hook and single crochet. So just push your hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. And you're just going to go ahead and repeat that all the way down, working 1 single crochet into every single chain until you get back down to that corner where we started this chain. All right, so go ahead and do your single crochets in every single chain down and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished working your single crochets down the chain, you're going to go ahead into that very first chain and close it with a slip stitch just to clean up that edge there. and just pull a little bit out. Grab your scissors and fasten that off. Okay. And now you're just going to go to the other bottom corner of your top, reattach your yarn into the bottom corner here, do the same thing, another chain of 80, single crochet into the second chain from the hook and each one down, close with a slip stitch, fasten off. You're going to go up to the top here, the neckties. You're going to reattach your yarn in the top, one of the top corners, and do the same thing we just did for the other back tie, but you're going to chain 70 and then work your single crochets back down, slip stitch and fasten off, chain 70 for the other side. So if you need a reminder of how exactly to do that chain in this and the single crochets, you can go back that little bit and follow the steps we just did for this. So you're gonna, this was a chain 80 for the back tie. You're gonna reattach your yarn here at the other bottom corner, do the chain 80. The neckties are the exact same as how you just did this. The only difference is you're chaining 70 instead of 80 for each one. And then you're done. You're going to use a yarn needle to go ahead and weave in your tail ends in and out of the stitches. And that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.